The second thing that has to happen to have federalism work is there has to be a smooth relationship between the 50 states. We previously talked about the relationship between the national government and the states having to be ironed out. But Article 4 gives the states all the guidelines they need to know in terms of interacting with one another in an efficient manner. All right, there's three additional clauses that you need to know that sort of relate to how the states, the 50 states, interact with one another. The first one's called the full faith and credit clause, and all of these are found in Article 4. This just says that full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. Fancy wording, what does it mean? Translation, the states have to recognize the legal decisions that are made by the other states. So two examples to sort of illustrate this. If you receive your driver's license in Pennsylvania, like I have a Pennsylvania driver's license, if I take my family on vacation to New Jersey to go to the shore, there's not like New Jersey state troopers waiting at the bridge when I enter New Jersey that force me to take a driver's test. They just assume that because Pennsylvania gave me a driver's license, that I should be able to drive in New Jersey as well. Or if you think about like other examples, like my wife and I are married. We're married in Pennsylvania. We have a Pennsylvania like marriage license that we got over 20 years ago when we got married. If we decide for whatever reason to move to California, we don't have to get married again. The state of California will recognize that Pennsylvania had previously married us, so we'll be married in the eyes of the California government as well. So it just allows things to move smoother when states will recognize basic legal decisions made by other states. The Privileges and Immunities Clause also guides the relationship between between the states themselves. It says the citizens of each state shall be entitled to all the privileges and immunities of the citizens in the several states. Translation, states can't unfairly punish residents from other states that move into their state. So, if an individual from New York moves to PA, it just basically says that the state of Pennsylvania can't unfairly punish those individuals because they're not native-born like Pennsylvania citizens. There are some exceptions to this law. For example, if you apply to a college, you definitely have the ability to get cheaper rates if you're an in-state resident. Supreme Court has essentially ruled that that's fair because of the fact that you, in many cases, your taxes go to pay for higher education in the state, so you should get a little discount. Or it's cheaper for residents of Pennsylvania to get a hunting and fishing license than it is somebody from coming in from out of state trying to get a hunting or fishing license in Pennsylvania. That's considered to be a common sense like protection of Pennsylvania's resources. But generally, Pennsylvania cannot unfairly discriminate against residents of other states. And the last one's called the Extradition Clause. This just says a person charged in any state with treason, felony, or other crime who shall flee from justice and be found in another state shall on the demand of the executive authority of that state from which he fled be delivered up to be removed to the state having jurisdiction of the crime. Translation, if a fugitive is captured in a state after fleeing another, they have to be returned. Think about it, right? If this wasn't in the Constitution and states didn't have to return criminals that fled to their state, you could just commit a crime and jump into another state and you'd be untouchable. This basically establishes that if you commit a crime in Pennsylvania and you flee to New Jersey and New Jersey authorities capture you, you have to be sent back to Pennsylvania for your trial. It just makes for a more efficient system.